Hello, my name is Michelle and welcome to my channel, Michelle's Melancholia. Today I will be unboxing my October's Abominable book club box. As I've mentioned before, I've been subscribed to this box since December of 2020, I think, so quite a while now, and I'm still very happy with it. And I am subscribed to the full Gods box, which means that in addition to the books, I also get some snacks, some drinks, some bookmarks, an enamel pin, and some other things like that. But you can also subscribe to the bare bones box, which will include only the books. And sometimes I kind of have an idea of what books are going to be in the box, but this month I have no clue. But since it's October, I'm sure it's going to be a good one. So let's open it up. So as you saw right on the top, I have the second-hand book, which comes individually wrapped, and it's different for every subscriber. And it's always a very exciting surprise. So I'm going to open it at the end. And the first book I have here, I've actually never even heard of it. It is The House of Tongs by James Dashner. This is a paperback, but it's quite a large paperback. And yes, I said I haven't heard either of the title or the author before, but it says it's a gripping and entertaining horror story, a fun, chilling tale, and it has kind of like a fake sticker that says reader's favorite 5 stars, but I don't know reader's favorite according to who. And it's published by Akashic Media Enterprises, which I also never heard of before. Let's read the description on the back. It says, the author of the New York Times best-selling Maze Runner series leads us on a dark journey of generational horror as we visit the House of Tongs. So I never read the Maze Runner series, so I had no idea who he was, but I like generational horror, so maybe this will be right up my alley. And it says, David Player has spent 30 years trying to forget the traumas of his childhood, the threats, the kidnapping, the murders, the imagined curses of a people born centuries earlier passed from father to son, mother to daughter, generation to generation. Its climax came in human form, a monster of a man, one of the most notorious serial killers the nation has ever seen, Pee Wee Gaskins. And Gaskins had a particular hatred for the Player family, then for David himself, who barely escaped those years with his own life intact. Now David is back, his 4 children in tow, visiting his parents' home, a place he has learned to cherish despite the evils that haunted his younger days. But no sooner does he return than a stranger visits their doorstep, the son of Pee Wee Gaskins. In a terrifying display, right in front of the kids, the man utters threats until he chokes on his own tongue, sparking a series of events that drag David and his family back into the days of curses and murders onto a path of unimaginable terror all too familiar. That path leads to an old Gothic tower in the woods, a place David had blocked from his memory, a house of horrors both past and present, the House of Tongs. So this sounds pretty dark. Yeah, I'm very surprised because I didn't expect to see this, but I think it might be a good one. And we actually have another book, a hardcover. Ooh, and this is Black Lake Manor by Guy Murpus. And we got another book from this author a few months ago. It was called 5 Minds, and it was a science fiction thriller in which several people were sharing one body. So there were 5 people inside one mind, and one of them is the killer, and they have to find out who while inhabiting the same body. And I thought the idea for that was great, and there were many good ideas inside the book, but the whole thing didn't quite come together for me. So while I enjoyed it, I didn't think it was brilliant, but I had decided I wanted to keep my eye out for these author's new books, because I think he just needs to come into his own style, because as I said, he has really good ideas and really interesting ideas for thrillers. So I'm actually really excited to read this one, and let's see what this is about. In the former mining town of Black Lake, there is a folk tale passed down the generations. An old story about a ship wrecked upon the coast and the single survivor who made it to shore. His descendants are said to have a unique ability. Once in their lives, and only once, they can unwind the events of the previous 6 hours. More than 200 years later, part-time police constable Ella Manning is attending a party at Black Lake Manor, the clifftop mansion of the town's divisive local billionaire. When a raging storm sweeps in, she and several other guests find themselves trapped, and when their host is discovered brutally murdered in his study the next morning, the door locked from the inside, they turn to her to solve the crime. Pushing her detective skills to the limit, against the odds, Ella is sure she has identified the killer, but then someone undoes time. With no memory of what she discovered before, her investigation begins again, with very different results. Which of her suspects is a murderer, and is there something even more sinister she is yet to uncover? So, once again, it's a science fiction thriller, and it sounds really interesting. I'm maybe a bit nervous because stories that involve time travel tend to very easily have plot holes in them, and I can't help but like dwell on them. So I'm really interested to see how he pulls this one off. Then we have the drinks, which always come in this striped bag with this really cool teeth sticker. And we have the usual, some tea bags. These are a really good brand of tea. Some instant coffees and a hot chocolate. For the snack, we have a little bag of dry roasted peanuts, which seem to be with some kind of seasoning. And this just made me a little bit hungry, so I think I'm gonna eat this right after I finish filming this. Here we have our two bookmarks. One is the classic Abominable Book Club bookmark, which has a microfiction written in the back. And they also design another bookmark themselves, and this month is really funny. So in the back it says happy 4th birthday to us, and these are Owen and Gav, so they're like the owners of the subscription service. And on the other side they have like their heads on the bookshelf with bloody eyes, so that's pretty cool. Oh, and I just noticed they have like a birthday candle coming out of their brain. Nice. The enamel pin is so cool. So it's Chucky from the Rugrats, but with a knife, kind of like the Chucky doll from the other movie. I really like this one because I was a big Rugrats fan when I was a kid. In Mexico, he's called Carlitos. And then we have three stickers, well, 2 stickers, and one is the book plate, a signed book plate for the House of Tongs, so that's really cool. I'm going to stick it in the book. And 2 other stickers, which actually I'm really happy. They don't always include stickers, but I love stickers, so I'm excited for them. One is just like this cool green skull, and the other one is this character from wait, what's it called? Like Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss. I think it's like kind of like Dr. Seuss style, but it's like this face and it says, "The Thing, you gotta be effing kidding me." And now the star of the show, in my opinion, and if you saw my video for last month, I got a book that I already had, which, I mean, it was bound to happen at some point, but it was a bit of anticlimactic, so I'm hoping I don't have this one. And these does feel like those vintage mass market paperbacks, so I have high hopes. And it is Peter James, Looking Good Dead. So I think Peter James is a crime writer. I've actually seen these books a lot in charity shops, but I've never even thought of picking it up. So I know many of you would be more knowledgeable on crime writers, so please let me know if this is any good. The description says, Tom Bryce did what any decent person would do, but within hours of picking up the CD that had been left behind on the train seat next to him and attempting to return it to its owner, he is the sole witness to a vicious murder. Then his young family are threatened with their lives if he goes to the police, but supported by his wife Kelly, he bravely makes a statement to the murder enquiry team headed by Detective Superintendent Roy Grace, a man with demons of his own to contend with. And from that moment, the killing of the Bryce family becomes a mere formality and a grisly attraction. Notice of Kelly and Tom's deaths has already been posted on the internet. You can log on and see them on a website. They are looking good dead. So yeah, this is not something I would have ever thought to pick up, but that's what I like about the mystery book, because now that I have it, I might as well try it. So we will see if I enjoy it, but overall I am very pleased. I'm actually really excited for all these 3 reads. I feel like they are not something I had expected or anticipated, so I'm a bit surprised, but in a good way, and I'm happy to try these books out. So let me know if you have read Peter James or have any thoughts about the other 2 books. If you particularly would like for me to review one of them, I can prioritize it. Otherwise, I suppose that's it for today. I will see you on my next video. But until then, goodbye.